everyone, I'm Captain Logan.
I'm Eric.
It's time for the letters pages.
Are we doing the letters pages?
We're doing the letters pages.
Oh, baby, we probably shouldn't yell.
We probably shouldn't. He might wake up and cry, and then I'll be in trouble. Eric, the first question comes from Caleb Braun, and he asks, if you could write a comic based on an obscure superhero from one of the big two publishers, who would you choose?
I mean, at this point, it's difficult because I feel like we've nabbed up all the... No, I have an answer. Ragman. I'd write Ragman.
I mean, he's had a comic, but yeah.
Well, you name an obscure superhero that hasn't had a comic.
Well, no, that's true. That's true. You were just making it sound like you were trying to find someone that's never had their own.
Well, no. I just mean right now.
Yeah.
That's what's in vogue.
Who's the guy in Spider-Man in the '90s that looks just like Spawn?
Nightwatch.
Nightwatch. Yeah, I'd go for Nightwatch.
I'm pretty sure he's back, isn't he?
Or I think so. Yeah, or Resurrection Man.
Oh yeah, of course.
That's who I'd want to write. John Linton, what's your thoughts on this year's DC CW crossover Elseworlds? I'm really excited about Elseworlds. I'm worried it can't possibly be as good as it looks, but I'm really excited about it. Just all the stuff they're throwing into that, and like they're bringing Hawkman back as Superman, and he's got a black costume, and they're flipping Flash and Arrow, which seems kind of fun. Like one's gonna be the wrong guy, they're gonna flip. That's fun.
I forget what it was because I saw the picture. You sent me the picture, and
one of them looks amazing.
One of them looks really good in the other's costume.
And the other one looks silly.
Green Arrow looks good in Flash's costume. Flash does not look good in Green Arrow's costume, I think.
No, that's true. Yeah, they're gonna introduce their Lois Lane in that. They're doing a lot of cool stuff.
Do we know who's cast as Lois Lane?
I think so, but it wasn't anybody that I was familiar with. I forget.
That woman does look great.
That one looks amazing.
Every
time.
Care.
No, that's fine, but I'm gonna watch it.
Well, no, but I haven't watched anything since halfway through season 3 of Arrow.
Yeah, but these things tend to stand on their own really well.
Sure.
So when they do the big crossover events, anyway, so yeah.
Try and get Rasco back. I'll just sit here and watch you guys go.
I'll talk to Rasco. Logan Tucker, Cap, how do you decide when to widen your perspective or when to narrow it in a narrative? I know a lot of this is intuition, but I should just start saying that intuition. Move on.
Is this as you're writing or as you're
writing?
As you're watching, okay.
I know a lot of this is intuition, but do you ever stop and make a conscious decision about when to widen narrow scope or when to write matter-of-factly versus poetically? Hopefully this is clear enough to make sense of. Thanks, and keep up the awesome work, guys. Yeah, thank you, Logan. Another person named Logan.
Well, if you've ever read Stephen King's On Writing,
yeah.
You should only write matter-of-factly and never intentionally poetically.
I mean, I don't think that's what he's saying. I don't I don't think you should only write matter-of-factly, but I don't think you should force poetry, and I think he would probably agree with that.
Well, and he also really dogs on using any flowery language to describe I distinctly remember bodily functions where he's like, "Don't ever say this when you mean this."
That's true. Well, he's talking about speaking plainly, which is different from not speaking poetically. So what he's talking about, and I say this all the time with my writing groups, which is
speak when spoken to.
No, I've never said that. I just mute them. We're on Google Play. No, I'm kidding. But no,
get out.
Don't use writerly language.
Yeah.
You know,
or at the very least, don't go back and forth.
This is the reason, this is the reason you just want to read a lot, because you start to come up with, sorry, it's late, guys. You start to come up with a lot of, really good, synonyms for things as you just, build your toolbox, you know? It's I'm not saying you should never look at a thesaurus, but usually when I use a word in a thesaurus, it's because it's a word I know. It just didn't come to me right away. It's not, I'm going for a word I've never used before, never heard of. Use what you have in your arsenal, but keep building the arsenal. And I think, that's... I think, poetic writing will kind of just start to come to you naturally as you read really good writing and as you try to think of ways to phrase things that are fresh and new and that maybe nobody said before. And you always want to do that. You always want to make it new. You don't want to go to cliche writing. If you're just trying not to write cliched, very often, really interesting turns of phrase will come to you.
Yeah.
I think. Just X out the stuff that's obvious and go, well, here's, a metaphor or a simile or an image, that nobody else has thought of. But as far as like, I don't know, widening and narrowing scope,
specifically on perspective.
Yeah, and I mean he's right. A lot of that is intuition. A lot of it's trial and error.
Don't jump to people that don't matter.
Well, don't jump around. Period. You know. I mean, like if you're writing a novel, generally the rule of thumb is within a chapter, stay in one person's head. Mm-hmm. That doesn't mean the whole book has to be from one person. And there are reasons to jump to minor characters. I don't tend to do it, but I've read lots of novels that do that and do it well. You know.
Mostly by Stephen King.
That's a great question. We're gonna move on. I could talk more about that, but John Early, I want to know if you plan on seeing the PG-13 rated version of Deadpool 2. I'm too curious not to.
Yeah.
I don't really like that that's happening, and I won't take my kids, but I'm too curious to see the extra footage. I'm definitely gonna go to that.
Especially because we don't have word on whether it's getting released or not. Like on DVD.
Right. We've talked about this before, yeah. So, especially if they don't tell us that beforehand, I have to go just to know. Because if it's never released, I would be surprised if that happened. That's never happened.
I want it to be. I want it to not be. I want it to be the new thing that gets passed down.
That would be crazy because that's going to be a limited like 2-night only thing. They've said. I think it's supposed to be like real.
I want it to be the new thing that like people have to.
And
like,
that's coming soon because that's December.
Mm-hmm.
We're about to get that. I don't know. I'm really curious about that. Wow, some long questions. Tony Casero, with the streaming services developing original content, why do you think movie theater chains never attempted to create original content they could own? If AMC or another big chain funded and developed their own miniseries that they released weekly or monthly in their theaters, do you think that could be successful or would have been successful in the past? That's fascinating. I never thought of that.
I mean, my immediate gut thing is I don't think they have enough money.
Yeah.
It's a dying industry. It's not a bad idea.
No, it's not. I mean, those are big corporations, but
I've always thought it would be really cool if one of the chains brought back serials.
Yeah.
Like if you come a half hour early, you get to see like a half-hour program that's only in the theater, and like it would be incentive to go each month. If they ran.
But yeah, for a movie theater chain to bankroll a movie, I never thought of that.
No. They should have thought of it before they're where they are now.
Yeah. No, that's a really good point. Yeah, I don't know. I think the answer to whether or not they would be successful is just whether or not the stuff was any good and if they marketed it right. I don't think whether or not they made it would really have any impact. Mm-hmm. You know, would it get any butts in seats? Oh wow, AMC made a thing. I'm so curious. I don't know that it would.
No, it would have to be something that seems major.
Daniel Eldridge, why do you think Star Wars is more awkward and uncomfortable? We're still talking about this. To talk about than other things that divide fans. Can the blame be placed on the actions of fans, Disney, or both? Now, obviously this has been an issue with Last Jedi, but this was the case with the prequels and stuff too. Like, people get more up in arms about Star Wars than they do other things.
Yeah, it's true. I think it's just more personal to people.
Yeah.
I think Star Wars is this weird thing that, like, most people have a very personal connection to. And so...
But it's, like, different for different people.
Yeah, so, like, when it hurts, it hurts. And
it's hard to love a thing and have people, like hate it so vehemently, you know?
And Star Wars is like religion. Like, in a lot... Star Wars has a religion.
Yeah, sure.
Jediism is an on-the-books religion.
Yeah.
No, I think in a weird way, Star Wars is a very spiritual experience for people.
I mean, I've seen people get just as up in arms and argumentative about Star Trek. There's just a smaller fan base for that.
And it's also, there's more of it.
Yeah.
It's not as easy with Star Wars, where it's like, so I had 3 good movies, 3 not good movies, a movie that lives and dies on a sequel, and trash. Like, there's just less of it. Like, it sucks what's happening in Star Trek right now. You have at least 3 shows that you can go back and watch hundreds of episodes of.
Yeah.
And bits and pieces of Enterprise and Voyager.
Yeah, you're saying like decent stuff. Well, I mean, TNG and TOS are still somewhat hit and miss. But yeah, but yeah, I totally get what you're saying. We're like there's.
I think it's easier to not get angry because there's more of it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No. I think you're absolutely right about that. Where like it feels like there's kind of more at stake whenever one comes out.
Yeah.
And even though now they're coming out kind of constantly, or they were.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see what happens now moving forward. But no, that's a really good point. 5590ERS. This question is for both Cap and Eric. What are some of your favorite alternate history stories? It could be TV shows, movies, comics, etc. Obviously, I love Watchmen. That's the first thing that comes to my mind.
Oh, see, I assumed your first thing would be Man in the High Castle.
I've never read it. I mean, I watched the first season of the TV show.
I thought it said TV, comics.
Well, that's true. That's true. But okay, but like, I watched a season of television of a series that's not finished, and I just don't like.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
No, that's true. I do really like what I watched of that show. It just, I guess I'm saying it wouldn't immediately come to me because I don't know. That's one of those things where I have a hard time calling myself a fan of it until I see how it ends. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
I don't immediately like. It could be just because it's late. I don't immediately have one jumping out at me.
Yeah.
I know I like alternate history things. I just can't. Sliders. All of Sliders.
That's.
I have seen exactly one episode of Sliders. That vampires in it. And hide from that show. I don't think
I've ever sat through an entire episode of that show.
I watched one. I don't have a good answer off the top of my head. I'm really sorry. It's late.
That's all right.
Oh man, I wish I had something.
I mean, mine's somewhat cop out because it's my answer to everything. Emma Boss, should they rename the MCU Spider-Man to Iron Boy? I mean, some people just feel that way about it.
If he keeps running around with that suit.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's going to keep running around with that suit.
Look, it helps that we have a Spider-Man right now. I mean, I guess we did have this with Amazing and Amazing 2 also, but, like, at least he does science stuff, and I like that he's not a total super genius. So, I mean, like, there's an explanation for his costume.
I also won't be surprised if going into Far From Home, he loses the AI.
Yeah.
That won't surprise me. I do not believe
probably should at some point.
I do not believe he'll be wearing the Iron Spider costume.
I also
he would just be Iron Spider.
I also still think the likelihood is high that we lose Tony Stark in the next Avengers movie, and
then Karen breaks and he doesn't know how to fix her.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there might be somebody else using that tech, or that owns that tech, that he could go to.
Justin Hammer.
Or Pepper.
I want the Justin Hammer version of Karen, where it's just like, it works sometimes, but other times it doesn't.
And we're like, it's really insecure and unsure of itself.
Yeah.
But it pretends
I
like
don't
it's
know,
awesome.
maybe try impact webbing. I call this kind of webbing the ex-husband.
But it's constantly talking about how great it is.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. Cap and Eric, I'm trying my best to avoid all marketing for Avengers 4. Good luck. No trailers, interviews, or anything.
Get ready for it to be beamed into your dreams.
Only the title. What's your opinion on going on a marketing strike in order to improve or have a different viewing experience? Hey, in a perfect world, I would do it too.
Yeah.
My opinion on that is more power to you. As always, like, I think we should all respect how other people feel about this kind of thing. Some people like to know everything they can possibly know going in. I don't personally understand that, but I'm not going to say it's invalid. People get really excited about a thing, and I think a lot of it's speculation. Like, the more I know, the more I can guess at what's going to happen. So it's not, I'm trying to see the movie before the movie comes out. It's, I'm trying to guess, and I want to see how close I am. Personally, I think that can, you know, give you too biased of a perspective going in, and the less you know, the more of a pure experience you have watching a thing.
Also, if you are that kind of person, don't be obnoxious to everyone that's not. Be like, well, I knew 6 months ago.
And that's kind of, yeah, and exactly, that's what I'm talking about. But on the other side, like, don't get angry with other people for, you know, wanting to know things as long as they're not telling you about it.
And I used to be more that way. I have gotten to the point where if I see a trailer and I like it, I don't need to see more. Yeah. I did not watch the 5-minute Aquaman trailer. I like that trailer. I'm going to go see that movie. No, why do I need to see more?
I skipped that too. Yeah.
Yeah. Although, I saw an action figure for Ocean Master. If that's what he looks like, that's incredible.
Really?
It's so comic book.
Well, and the Black Manta figures are awesome.
It's bright purple.
So
yeah, I more power to you. I would like to. I would like to see more movies like that without knowing. But I used to be very. I I knew everything that happened in Revenge of the Sith before that movie came out. Like, I read the prequel, or not the prequel, I read the comic adaptation, I read, I don't know if I read the novel before, but, like...
I've always been more, I don't want to know too much.
I've gotten more that way as I've gotten older.
Yeah.
It also doesn't help that, like, I've been burned a lot, where, like, I thought things were going to happen and they didn't. Like, there was a lot of talk about things with, like, different movies where it's like, oh yeah, and, like, this thing's going to happen, and I see the movie, it doesn't happen, I'm like, well, it would have been a lot cooler if that thing happened.
Let's do one more. Beck Studios, what are some things you wish someone would request so you could either enjoy it for the first time or get a chance to talk about it?
What's the thing you've always wanted to watch?
See, like, when you put me on the spot like that, just things don't immediately come to me. Like, I know there's, like, recent TV shows and things that I'd love to get around to, but just haven't, you know? Like, a lot of sci-fi stuff, especially. Mm-hmm. Like, we started The Expanse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but we never got back to it. It would be nice to... sometimes it's nice if somebody requests something that I really wanted to watch but haven't gotten around to it, because now I have to prioritize it. Like, now I have to watch it. Mm-hmm. And I kind of appreciate that. So, The Expanse is like that, and Westworld is like that. Somebody sent me that in the mail, but I still haven't gotten around to watching it.
Yeah, I really want to watch that.
Stuff like that.
CJ told me something about that. I'll tell you after I finish recording that. I think it's hilarious.
Do you have anything like that you can think of where you're like, well, if only someone like donated me money, you know, then I would finally watch this thing that I just cannot prioritize.
I tried lots of things.
I sometimes have I sometimes have that with cartoons. Like, I cannot prioritize cartoons. I'm really bad at that.
Yeah. You did finish. You gotta go season 2 soon.
I do, because that's actually about to drop, isn't it? Yeah.
I can't immediately think of it. I'm really sorry.
And he also asks, what is the water that you've been drinking to kick the cola? Oh, I drink, like, it's not actually water, like it pretends like it's water, like naturally flavored sparkling water, but it's not. Like, this is sparkling ice. These are in grocery stores everywhere. You see these constantly now. This has gotten really, really popular. My flavor of choice is coconut pineapple. I drink this stuff like I used to drink Mountain Dew. I drink it all the time. This stuff is 0 calories. It's 1% juice. It's got some artificial sweeteners, so it's not like crazy healthy. Don't feel like if you drink this you're drinking water. Like, you should still drink water, but it's certainly way healthier than soda is. Like, it's not the absolute healthiest thing you can put in your body.
That would be water.
Yeah, but it's but certainly way better than soda. And if you drink like a stupid amount of soda and you can do what I did and replace it with something like this, you're probably gonna feel better for it. Certainly. So yeah, I drink maybe 2 or 3 of these a day. When I have them around, I don't always have them. But,
sure.
Yeah, so that's it. He must have just seen that on camera. Anyway, well, folks, thanks a lot for watching the Geekvolution Omnibus. We sure appreciate it. There we go. We're finished. That was Omnibus 19. Eric, Omnibus 20 next time. We will have made 20 of these in about a year. So that's pretty good. I mean, the first more than half we were doing every 2 weeks. So this has slowed down just a little bit.
Yeah.
But we're covering, I think, probably more stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
The way we are now. Because we about only had a week to prepare.
And we took off 2 months at the beginning of the year.
Well, that's true. We did. We took off 2 months at the beginning of the year, and then we took off 3 weeks right after the summer.
We took off 5 weeks.
Well, yeah, but I mean, we took off an extra 3 weeks. So, I mean, like, there's already 3 weeks.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So we took off 3 weeks.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I didn't think about that. I mean, Jason and I did a minibus, but as far as our show. Mm-hmm. So I've technically done this 20 times.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and we look forward, as always, to reading your comments. And we're going to go to bed. Thanks a lot for watching. I am Captain Logan.
I'm Eric.
See you later, folks.